Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's a great pleasure I'm able to bring you this relatively early review for the latest retro cloth Michael Myers figure from Neca. I can't believe how fast madabout.horror.co.uk got these in stock. They literally messaged me yesterday and said we got them and it was here today. So madabout.horror.co.uk, just give yourself a pat on the back for being awesome when it comes to service, and a really good price for this as well. They've got them in stock, folks. I'll leave a link to madabout.horror.co.uk underneath this video in the description. They sell everything from, well, if it's horror related, they sell it. They got all the NECA stuff, they got all the Trick or Treat Studios masks, all of them. They got t-shirts, bags, enamel pins, just everything. If you're into horror stuff, make sure you check them out. I just can't believe how fast this got here. I was not expecting anyone in the UK to be selling this just yet, but yeah, Mad About Horror, they got it done. And this packaging here is absolutely gorgeous. This figure has valuable one day written all over it, so I would suggest, you know, if you've got to take it out of the packaging and display it, then I would try and pick up a second one to keep packaged up, because it just looks so good. I mean, I can't wait to get a second one of these and just leave it like this in the Myers room on the shelf, just mid-condition. This one, obviously, I'm going to bust it out of here, set him free, and review him. But this artwork in the background here, this is by Jason Edmonston. I've got his book here, Visceral. I've shown it to you before. It's absolutely incredible. Check him out on Instagram and Facebook. I got no reason to plug the dude other than the fact that he's an amazing artist. If you like Michael Myers, Freddy, Chucky, Leatherface, all that stuff, Pinhead, they're all in here, man. The artwork in here is insane. Just like this guy. Just give you a quick look at the back of the packaging. It's pretty simple. There's no kind of synopsis to the film, really. It just says the nightmare isn't over, which basically sums it up. Halloween 2, you know, from 1981. Really cool the way it just continues from exactly where the part 1 from 1978 left off. Always liked that about it. And Dick Warlock as Michael Myers, he was his own kind of, he really put his own stamp on it. More of a kind of supernatural vibe to this particular Michael Myers, which, you know, I always found that really creepy. He moves so slow but very determined to get whoever he's after. Comes with all these cool weapons as well. We've got the syringe, the scalpel, and the hammer, the knife. It's all in here. You get 2 heads. I'm going to be careful and take this beautiful piece of artwork out and make sure I keep that nice and mint to display separately. But a really nice package all around here, folks. Very, very cool. Let's get her open and do this review. Alright, so before I take him out, let's just have a look at him in the packaging here. Now, I've noticed in some of those early reviews that I've seen from folks in the USA, the collar area around here can get really messy and thready looking, but mine's not too bad. Sometimes this pocket is really wonky the way it's sewn on. That one doesn't seem too bad, but this one over here seems to have had a few whiskeys. But he's got the bullet holes. We'll check out all that in a minute. But yeah, man, let's take him out. Let's get him out of here. Now this one's got ankle pivot, which the 2018 Michael Myers, he didn't have that. So a little bit more poseability when it comes to how you want him to stand. So that is cool. Now, I don't know. I mean, the debate about the color of the Michael Myers coveralls goes on, but that's more for the 1978 film. It's a little bit more clear what color they are to me anyway in Halloween 2 from 81. They definitely look more kind of green to me in the film, more like a grey kind of green, really nasty. But yeah, they went with blue, just total navy blue here, so I don't know. Let me know in the comments. I know more about 78 and 2018 than I do the 1981 sequel. I mean, I've seen it twice in total all the way through. I need to watch it again, really. Just familiarize myself more with the Dick Warlock kind of Myers, because I will be doing some custom work on a 1/6 scale Halloween 2 figure in the future, so I'm going to be painting a mask and trying to make it look as accurate as possible. So I'm going to have to watch the film again anyway. Wonder, is there a nice 4K, well, maybe not 4K, but at least get it on Blu-ray, a nice HD version. The only version I've ever seen in my local HMV is the DVD, and I'm sure that's not going to look that great. But there he is, just lying there like he's temporarily down. Yeah. Are you going to stand up first time? Oh, yes he is. Yeah, the 2018 version, he's a bit of a, he likes to fall over a lot. But this one, you can tell he's going to be behaving himself. Now, something that I feel is worth mentioning and that I think is really cool about this particular version of Michael Myers, when I think of the 1978 shape, it's more of a just standing somewhere, observing, just stalking his prey, just watching, standing by a tree, standing by a hedge, standing by a window. He's standing places. Dick Warlock, when I think of him, I think of walking. I think of him just coming for you slowly. So The 2018 retro cloth Myers didn't have the little holes in his feet that you could peg into these little Neca stands that you can get on eBay. But this one does, and you are able to have him stepping forward. I haven't gone too far with it there, but I mean, because he's pegged in nice and tight here, you can have him more obviously stepping forward. But I just think holding that scalpel, this arm down straight by his side, just looking forward, 1 foot stepping, just coming for you slowly, just like he was all throughout that film, all through the hospital, just, you know, going through those corridors. I love the bit of security footage where you just see him slowly walking. It's really creepy. So I do think it's definitely cool that this one has the pegs in the feet so that you can have him walking, because I'm definitely going to be displaying this guy stepping forward like that. It's just, that's what you think of, me personally, when I think of Dick Warlock Myers. Now, I've always thought of the scalpel from Halloween 2 as quite a small weapon. I mean, it really was quite small compared to the big ass knife he was hauling around in 78. And at the beginning of Halloween 2, it's a pretty big knife there, but this scalpel seems a little bit oversized for this retro cloth Myers. I could be wrong about that, but the handle is going all the way back to where his sleeve is. So I'm sure it was a little bit smaller than that, but who knows. Either way, I'm happy because I've mentioned that I'm doing a 1/6 scale custom Dick Warlock Myers, and I'd imagine it's pretty difficult to find a scalpel in 1/6 scale, so I will probably use this one. I think this one's going to almost work for a 1/6 scale figure, but watch this space, or subscribe to the channel and keep an eye on it, because I will be doing a video on that in the near future. But you know, we'll see what happens with that. Now, I usually wait till a little bit later in the reviews to do comparisons, but this is so cool I thought I'd show it early. So you've got the retro cloth Halloween 2 Myers here, and the ultimate 7-inch Myers from Halloween 2. Also, both by Neca, but different scales. One's got material clothing, the other one's all plastic with, you know, just great poseability. Really good overall look with this one, and I do think the colour of the coveralls on the ultimate figure here does look more accurate to me than this straight up navy blue. You've got them both in a very similar kind of pose. This one I think looks a little bit more convincing. I mean, it's about the hand as well. That hand, yeah, I guess that works for holding up to his eyes. I think this one just suits the look for me a little bit better. And yeah, just to let you see how they both look together in a similar pose. It's pretty cool. Both seem to have the exact same color hair. Just turn them both to the side and give you a little view from this angle for both of them in this pose. Just a little visual aid to help you decide whether or not to put down that hard-earned cash on either one of these, but in particular this retro cloth version in front. At every angle, to be honest guys, it's working for me. I love the way you can see the bullet hole there with the blood as well, because there is actually underneath the coveralls, he has where each bullet hole exists in the coveralls, there is blood painted onto the body underneath, so it's kind of giving you that dimension, bullet hole stained with blood, and then blood resting on the body underneath as well. He does not have any kind of t-shirt underneath his coveralls, but they do up so tight to the neck you'd never see it anyway. I guess that's why they didn't bother with that. But there you go, there is your little side profile shot, just so you can see how badass that looks. Let you see it from the back as well. Worth noting that the 7-inch Ultimate figure has the bullet holes in the back as well. This one does not have any bullet holes in the back of the coveralls whatsoever, just so you know. That would actually be a nice little project for me. I can get that done in a few minutes. I'll just copy where the bullet holes are in this one. Do some little holes, some red paint around the holes, and some red paint underneath on the actual body. So I'll get that done myself. Alright folks, I'm taking this ultimate 7-inch Neca figure out of the equation now. If you want to see the review for this guy, it's on the channel. Make sure you check it out. It was a good one. Now let's concentrate on the man of the hour. Right, I want to take a nice close-up look at the head sculpt. Both of them. We're going to start with this Blood Tears version. The first thing that I notice is the blood effect here is not satisfactory to me personally. I am going to have to go in and repaint those blood streaks and then add some kind of just shine to them. I really want them to look the way they did in the film. It'll do for most people, but for me, I know I can make those sort of tears of blood look way more convincing. I do like the way they have painted just all inside of the eyes here is just this nasty kind of red has gone over the actual eye paint work just to really hammer home the fact that he was just shot in both eyes. Pretty good weathering, pretty good. As far as this bottom lip situation, I'm not too sure what's going on there. If I look at the other head sculpt, yeah, they are both very different. I'm not overly impressed with the paint job on either one of these heads, to be honest with you. But, I mean, you know, for a figure this price, it's nice and cheap, readily available at madaboutthorror.co.uk, but definitely could be better. So, we'll see about that. But yeah, this looks good, man. You can see how nasty it looks inside the mask. The hair I like a lot. That's been done nicely. When I first took it out of the packaging, I wanted this one to stick out a little bit more, and you can kind of get it to poke out a bit, but it does just tend to kind of go back the way it was originally. I would like a little bit more horn action here, so I'm going to see if I can coax the horns out to the side a little bit more. But you know, it's minor stuff. I'm just a super perfectionist when it comes to Michael Myers stuff, man. I want it to be as perfect as possible, but it's all good. Check out these bullet holes, man. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, he shot him 6 times, but then he did shoot him a bunch more times towards the well, the end of the movie, when by the time he had the blood tears flowing, he had way more bullet holes in him than he did when he started the movie. But I mean, regardless of what I'm saying about the blood tears and the bit of a messy paint job here on my particular head sculpt here, yours will look different. They're all going to look different, to be honest with you. Luck of the draw, really. But I am still pretty damn happy with this. I mean, like I said, it's just a retro cloth Neca figure, man. They're like £35 max. You know, if you get them when they're released, and don't wait for you know, don't wait too long and have to pay eBay prices in a few years' time. So that's why I think you should grab it now while you can. But I mean, that'll do me. You know what I'm like, folks. I'll probably end up doing a bit of paint work on this. Fun little project for me. I'm always enthusiastic about the Myers stuff. Let's take a look at this other head sculpt. Yeah, the eyes are painted nicely in this one. And I like the way they darkened the actual skin tone of the eyes, just to, because they are quite set back into the mask. You can see that they are quite, you know, quite deep in there, which is really what you need. Because then when the light is coming from above, or even if they're deep set enough like this, it really doesn't matter where the light's coming from. They're not going to be too obvious, and that is exactly how you want it to be, but they are there, which is really cool. And I like the way they've painted around the eyes there. A nice dark kind of skin tone, just to kind of make them a little bit more subtle. But this one's actually painted quite well. I mean, they've got the inner corners of the eyes, should be like that. Weathering on the nose is a little bit skew-if. I could probably do a bit of tweaking on that one. Skin tone coming through on the neck is very well done. I do like the hair. Again, not so much with the horns as they should be. They are quite turned down. I don't know if it's possible to get these ones to stick out a little bit more. I mean, that's kind of working. But I mean, overall, I think the actual sculpt is very good. Yeah, the sculpt itself is fantastic, but you know, the prototype images that we saw, I mean, that was painted very, very, you know, high quality, but this is mass produced. I don't know how many of these Neca make or will make, but they're really, you know, they pump them out. They are very much available when they release these things, but I don't know how long that will be the case. Like I said, get it while you can before you have to start hunting on eBay for one in a couple of years' time. This is one of those ones that you might regret not getting when it was released. There you go. There's your look at the head sculpts. Let's get a quick look at his weapons. Here is the syringe. The plunging bit does not move, and the needle is not too sharp, so you don't have to worry about that, but still be careful. But yeah, it looks pretty decent. The syringe. And then we have a big old kitchen knife from the beginning of the movie. And just give you a clear look at that. It's nicely done. That is cool. And then we have his hammer. And that is very nicely done. Look at that. That's a great little hammer there. Very convincing looking. And we have his other hand for holding the knife or the hammer. Or possibly the syringe as well, in kind of like a stabbing position. So I'll have to try that for you. Alright, now that syringe is a very tight squeeze in the hand. It's not the easiest thing to get in there, but it certainly does look good when you do. So that's how that looks. I mean, it would be better if you heated up the hand with a hairdryer or something first, folks. That's the way to get that done easily without damaging anything. But I've managed to get it in there without, scraping any paint or anything like that. So I just wanted to let you see how he looks holding the syringe. And now that I've removed the syringe, it's good to know that nothing was scraped. No skin, paint from the hand has rubbed off on the syringe itself. It's still looking absolutely pristine, even though it was a very tight grip in the hand. Let's try the knife and then the hammer. Let's see how they look. Alright, and here is a nice pose with the knife that he snatches from the Elrod house. That's always a cool scene, man. That is probably one of my favourite moments from the movie, and it's really early on, right at the beginning. I do love the scene where he's just walking through the back, kind of, behind the houses. That kind of really kind of creepy, like in Nightmare on Elm Street 1, when his arms are long and he's scraping along the walls with Tina. Like that kind of the back sort of roads of the houses where it's all just creepy and dark, and he's just kind of walking around there, and he goes to the Elrod house and he stabs that lady in the other house as well. That was a really kind of, he just jumps out of nowhere and just stabs her. But yeah, here he is with the knife. And it's a great scale to him, I think. No expert, but it looks good to me. Great poseability, man. It does seem to have pretty much a double bend elbow. I'm able to get the... a couple of whiskeys. I'm able to get the hand all the way up to his face. And really get a good bend here. So let me see. Yeah, I mean, you got a double bend. Pretty much. Seems like it. So really good poseability. Everyone will be able to find their own unique pose for their Dick Warlock Myers on their display. So you can really come up with your own look. I mean, he certainly comes with enough weapons to be able to come up with your own, cool display with him. I'm not quite sure. I mean, I'm definitely going to keep displaying the ultimate 7-inch one with the scalpel here, kind of reaching out and holding the hand up to the face. I'm going to keep him like that. So with this one, I might go with the syringe or, possibly the Elrod knife. I'm not sure. We'll see though. But there he is with the knife, and really good poseability for displaying him with it. It looks great, man. I really like it. I'm glad I got a nice clean collar. I did actually get rid of all the little loose threads, which I wouldn't recommend doing it the way I've done it, folks. I would suggest you use a scissors. I did not use the scissors, and I won't tell you what I did use because it's irresponsible. Just a quick look at him with the hammer. And I think I've got the hammer around the right way, as gross as it is. I'm pretty sure it was that end, the business end there, that made its way into that poor guy's head. Now, I do like the more supernatural kind of aspect of Michael Myers in this movie. The way he moved, it frustrated me when I rewatched it maybe a year ago. I rewatched it and I remember being kind of frustrated by how slow he was moving. I mean, Laurie at times was only a few feet away in reaching distance, and he just wouldn't speed it up even a little bit, just ever so slowly coming towards her, especially when she gets into that lift or elevator. He definitely could have got her there, but he I guess he wanted to enjoy the hunt a little bit longer. And yeah, just a really creepy kind of supernatural Michael Myers in this movie. And again, that whole supernatural thing sort of came into my mind when that scene where he kind of dips that poor lady's head into the scalding hot water, like scalding hot, it's bubbling, boiling hot, and his hand goes in fully into that water when he's dunking her head. He doesn't react, doesn't make a sound, which again kind of makes you wonder, what is this guy made of? What is he all about? Is he human? Is he supernatural? What is going on? Because even the most crazy person surely would just flinch a little bit at his hand going into scalding hot boiling water. But nope, he didn't even flinch. And I don't think his hand was burnt afterwards either, if I remember correctly. I mean, it was a film made in 1981, so I guess you can probably take that into account. But yeah, just something that popped in my head. Alright folks, that's pretty much the review all wrapped up. I'm going to give this guy a really good score because he deserves it. This is a 9 out of 10 figure for me when it comes to the retro cloth line. My pockets are on nice and straight. They're not as bad as they looked in the packaging. I was able to always make sure you grab them by the bottom of the coveralls here and just give it a little tug. Just get things to kind of fall into line and sit a bit more naturally. And the pocket seems to have sorted themselves out quite nicely there. Just a really pleasing to the eye piece, this one. I really like it. Now, remember what I said, folks, madabout.horror.co.uk, you can't beat that service. They got these in stock for a really good price. Amazing service. It will be with you super fast, so I would definitely recommend you check them out. Yeah, man, 9 out of 10 figure for me. Absolutely love it. Keep an eye on the channel for little tweaks and modifications that I do to this guy over the next few days, because I will do a couple of little bits and pieces to him. And like I said, I'm going to try and grab myself a second one just to leave in this beautiful packaging, because I have a very strong feeling it'll be worth a fair bit one day. Plus, I really just want one on display in the packaging, because in itself it is a beautiful piece, a wonderful work of art. So there you go, guys. If you enjoyed the video, let me know in the comments. Always good to hear from you. And oh well, today we got the official news that Halloween Kills has definitely been delayed by a year. So I was kind of heartbroken about that, but I understand why they've done it. It makes sense, but it's definitely a tough pill to swallow. So I just have to make sure I keep myself alive for another year, because I ain't going nowhere until I see Halloween Kills, and obviously Halloween Ends later on as well. Finish up that trilogy. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, folks. Make sure you hit the bell icon next to the subscription button. That way you'll get emails every time I drop a video. And be sure to follow me on Instagram and Facebook at DKnight333. Lots of pictures and video clips going up on the gram on a daily basis. Doing the channel full time, so any help would be appreciated with that. You can help out on Patreon for $1 a month, and it helps me keep up to date with all the relevant reviews that you guys want to see. Helps keep this channel alive, and I will stick your name at the end of every video, just like the credits of a movie. Alright guys, take care of yourselves. Thank you for watching. See you soon. Goodbye. I'm just going to give you guys a little bonus peek into the Myers room. Those of you that are not familiar with the channel, there is a fair bit of Myers stuff in here. I actually moved this poster to this position. That used to be this one here. That's pretty cool. Got some awesome artwork here from amazing people in the Myers community. And here is the... oh, there's a sock. That was actually the other sock is embedded in the mask here to give more of a kind of elongated stretch. It just really has a kind of creepy look to it. Spent ages on those horns. But yeah, let's put the Halloween 2 stuff back over here in the little Halloween 2 section. So that's where he was. So let's see. This is something that I'm working on at the moment that is nowhere near complete yet, but I am working on a 1/6 scale Dick Warlock Myers. So we'll put the new arrival front and center. Make sure that he's balanced properly. But yeah, that's a nice little Halloween 2 section. So yeah guys, there is a full room tour of this room, showing everything in great detail. We've got a lot of custom, just amazing 1/6 scale stuff here. Some 1/4 scale custom stuff too. Check out that 78 Myers. There's not too many of those around. And you've got some Rob Zombie Myers stuff here as well. And some of the big ones from Neca that I've customized, repainted and rehaired the 2018 up there. Resculpted the hair on the 78. Just recently added the real hair to the big Rob Zombie Myers, and got the Beta Metalli 2018 Myers head there, and I might rehair this one here in the near future with real hair as well. But yeah, some really cool stuff, folks, so check it out on the channel if you're into Myers. Lots of goodies. But that's it for now. Thanks for watching. I'll see you real soon.